Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome once again to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet where we get together, we talk about things that help us escape. Today, we are going back to some roots. Back to some roots. We're going to read an article today. So, compai, everybody. I'm compaiing with the Pocari Sweat. Let me get that logo in there when I have some. Wonderful. Love it. Really juices me up. Gets me all the hydration that I require. I found this because we all know how great Oshi no Ko is. Oh, stop. Stop. Don't do this. Oh, don't do this. Fuck you. Fuck you. You done? You done? Gross. Get out of here with your little pop-ups. All right. Well, we've got ads on this because gosh dang if that wasn't a pain in the butt to do. Probably going to be a little bit of an even shorter stream today. We have some prep work to get completed before the end of the week that I need to be assisting in as a good husband and housekeeper. Get a better ad blocker. Yeah, I need to get the undetectable ad blocker. That's what I need. Anyway, let's see. What did I watch anime-wise? Where is my Annie list at? Annie list. There is my Annie list. Boom. Alrighty. I am fully caught up on Dead Mount Death Play. So instead of a 4-hour stream, it'll be a 3 or 2 or maybe 1. Could be any of the above. I'm gonna guess 2 hours for right now. Because that'll give me 9 o'clock, and then that'll let me still have a little bit of time after that to complete some things. So we'll see. We'll plan for around 2, but it's not a hard and fast. It's just whenever I'm done talking. And also finding gyms. Is Google attacking ad blocker still, or is that past? This is a CBR, so it's just random sites. Dead Mount Death Play has been enjoyable, not as fun as Isekai Smartphone. You like main character that's just getting everybody else on the cast who's like, I want to suck his dick. No, I want to suck his dick more. Is that your kind of show? If that's what you're into, then I mean, by all means, enjoy it. But there's probably better out there. If that's what you're into, you might want to try cheat skill isekai. He's our Lord and Savior. Oh, of course. Where is this? Open this one. And then we will share this. Like this. Boom. And a little spwaller. Oh, I need to get in here. Get into frame, spoiler Gundam. With your extra spoiler. That works. Why do I feel like I've got to really move over here? We really need to rotate where the camera's at. Feels very, very off. All right. Dead Mount Death Play, latest episode. We've been introduced to these different characters that are apparently superhuman, but not superhuman. So I'm interested if we get an explanation. I almost hope we don't get explanations for why this guy is like a crazy magician or like Lemmings is just like unstoppable or this fire person has like some sort of secret. But I'm sure revealing the secrets is going to be like a thing that happens because they're all going to be like, "Oh, it's real magic. How can we fight against real magic when we're using?" And he'll be able to see through the tricks, and that'll be part of what we're exposed to. Part of me though wishes that we never learn about what the secret is behind Firebuck. That it's just like, I don't know, they just had magic fire powers, but like they weren't magic. They were just able to do stuff that normal people can't do. And it'll just be like, well, isn't that just like basically magic then? Well, I mean, if you want to think about it like that, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It'll depend if the revelations are dumb or if they're really cool. If the revelations are like really interesting, it's like, oh, they were able to um feel winds and like spray oil that then like made fire appear. Maybe that's kind of cool. But if it's like they knew their enemy would go to this location and so they pre-planned to put fire there, like that gets a little dumb. Did you not finish the episode? The one with the magician and the fire person like fighting? Did they reveal it? Was there a post-credit scene I didn't stick around for? Because the magician guy was like, obviously I weigh nothing because it's an illusion. I know how your illusion works too. But I don't remember him saying it. But I also had a thermostat to run off and fix, so I wasn't exactly attentive. Were you furiously typing away or not? Careful, he'll poke my eye out. Yeah, him and his little spoiler wings. They say that it's real, but it's basically magic. Like, what are you hung up on? Hold on. Did you miss reviews? No, we're still kind of reviewing the one episode I watched between last episode and this episode. They say it's real, but it's basically magic, meaning that they're able to actually perform some sort of normal human action in a superior way to make it appear as though there is magic. And we know this because the magician guy, Solitaire or whatever, wants to find a true magician and prove that there is no such thing as like true magic and that everything is some form of an illusion. So even his like card tricks and stuff are actual like things that he's doing. But I want like I want it to just be left there. Like he's like, this isn't magic. I can just do it. But and same with the firebug. The firebug's just like, oh, I just control fire, and they never tell us how they do it. I want it to stay here. However, I have a suspicion that we're gonna get the episode that goes, here's how Firebug controlled fire, or here's how Magic Man escaped prison. I planned it all along, one of those kind of things. And I just don't want an eyes and ass pull. I just want it to be left where it is, where it's just like there's like super people. I don't want it to explain more. I think it'll be more interesting if they don't explain more. Welcome, Brandon. Long time indeed. A whole 24 hours, compai. Getting hung up on shit that hasn't happened. What? Hold on. I'm not hung up on it. What do you mean hung up? I'm making a request for the direction I hope the story goes. How is that getting hung up on it? I think this would be more interesting, and I hope it goes down this path, and I hope it doesn't go down this path. I'm only hung up because you're like telling me they already told us stuff. You're hanging me up right now on this thought path. This is all your fault right now that I'm even still talking about it. Because if you didn't bring it up, I would have been done saying what I said the first time and not had to explain it now 3 times to you. Ugh. All right. Anyway, I do like that the grandpa slash dad is very like, you brought it up and now you're backtracking. Do you not have eyes? Go back and watch the VOD. I've said the same thing 3 times in a row. You're not being very hung right now, Blaine. I'm always hung. It's just not always up. Like the stream, Blaine will end it in 2 hours. Yeah. Like the stream and Blaine will end it in 2 hours is what you mean. Bum. I like grandpa. I like the grandpa's just like, all right, I guess. Also, you're actually my son. I'm gonna call him grandpa. I know he's the kid's dad, but like the little guys call him grandpa. So I'm going with that. Is he drunk? No, I'm not drunk. I'm still on sobriety month or however long this cut's gonna last. Um Speaking of getting hung up, brought to you by a prepaid Visa from Xfinity. Uncle Grandpa, yeah. Somebody eating an M&M off the floor, and it was one of those woke colors. Was it green? I only eat green M&Ms. Thought I was going to talk about hate crimes. We can talk about hate crimes. Pride Month next month. Next week. Let's start with those White Claws. We can't drink White Claws on stream because then there'll be no laws. We can't have a no laws while drinking Claws stream. That would be crazy. We have to only do that on Rumble and Kick. It was a peanut M&M? Gross. I hate peanut M&Ms. M&Ms are great. Like a little bite of chocolate. The candy coating means you can grab them without them like melting or like getting stuck in anything. And like the chocolate inside's like a nice chocolate. But then like you bite into it and you get like chocolate and then there's just a nut hanging out in there and I don't like that. Peanut M&Ms are the only ones worth eating. You can have all of them. All of them. You can take every single peanut M&M. You races against brown M&Ms? No, brown M&Ms are fine. I just prefer the green ones. Yeah, I also don't like Crunch bars. I don't like nuts on my ice cream. I don't like when you're going through um one texture, one pressure profile, and then you get interrupted with another small, harder texture profile. It's just, I don't know. It's never been fun. It's never been an enjoyable candy for me. That's why I prefer I like Milky Way or Three Musketeers, the ones that just have kind of a singular kind of flavor throughout. But like Snickers and Crunch bars, never really been my thing. Almond Joys, nah, I don't need those. What a coincidence! You don't like nuts in my food either. I'm not allergic to them, so in case anyone's like, "Oh, you must have a nut allergy," nah, I just it's a weird. It throws off when I'm eating um like something that should be like the chocolate consistency, and then there's just like not chocolate. And I'm like, I don't like this. Jolly Rancher, I do like Jolly Ranchers. I like those a lot. Snickers, Payday, Baby Ruths. You got it. Big Turk. What the hell is a Big Turk? Are you talking about Chank Uger? Is that what you're talking about? What the hell is this thing? What does a Big Turk taste like? Candy bar manufactured by Nestle in Canada that consists of dark magenta Turkish delight coated in a chocolate coating. Turkish delight covered in chocolate. Huh. I mean, I'd try it. Like I'm not against trying stuff, but nah, not my deal. Just eat a Hershey bar? I do. Well, not specifically a Hershey bar. Usually it's a Lindt bar because then I can get the 80% chocolate that I prefer. A nice super dark, like so dark you can taste the dirt of the people that once tread upon the ground that the cocoa grew in. Don't know why people like to ruin brownies by putting nuts in them. Thank you, Fansite. This is how you know that I have my own thoughts. I finally found something that Fansite and I can agree on. Oh man. Just give me a nice, creamy, smooth brownie. I love that super dense chocolate flavor. So good. And then you're just like, what if I just ruined this nice texture with a nut? Oh, that and weed. No, you can do your weed elsewhere. Godiva or chocolate truffles are great. I made my own chocolate truffles one time. That was actually really good. Really, really good. I was thinking it would be like the first time I ever make like a candy of any kind, I always get the temperature wrong and it comes out like grainy. So I was expecting it to do that, but like truffles, I don't know if we've just perfected the recipe as a species or something, but like the first time I made chocolate truffles, smooth as can be. It was perfect. I don't know. I don't know how that was the one thing that I figured out. No nut brownies are weird. Confirmed. Serranos likes nuts in his things. Get Serrano some big old nuts for all the candies he's eating. You don't like bread plus nuts? Also good. My mom would always make banana bread, and she would make two loaves. There would be the nut loaf for all the weirdos who wanted a walnut in their banana bread, and there'd be the no nut loaf for me and everyone who didn't want nuts in their banana bread. Blonde brownies with peanut butter and chocolate chips and walnuts on top, not inside. Sheesh. Well, if they're on top, I could just scrape them off, like if I don't want them. Dragon Ruse is the sus now. No one wants nuts on their cake. It's the same with brownies and cookies. Nuts don't go with flour. What? that I, that's such a hello, Serranos.
Frosting is the devil. I hate it.
Frosting? Oh, I
Oh,
hate it
the
too, but I
devil.
love it so much. I think I
No,
I
I
hate it
genuinely
for a
not even.
different
Yeah,
reason.
you hate it for a different reason. I hate it because it's too sugary. I don't like things that are just like very, very sugary.
So I have like no sugar in most of my diet. Like my morning coffee from Waifu, black, no sugar in it. If I have tea, no sugar in it. Most of the things like if I'm making like a sauce and it says like, oh, add a quarter cup of brown sugar, I skip that entirely. I do no sugar in like anything. But like I don't know. Every couple months, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a I'm gonna buy a little container of frosting, grab a spoon and just down that
Yeah, that's really
whole thing.
disgusting. That's how you get fat.
I hate
Frosting
it.
makes you
It's the
fat.
worst. It's the worst.
Imagine how many days you lose just by eating that one tub of frosting.
I call it balance. I make up for all the days that I didn't eat frosting.
You would.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't do
I
frosting
like
whatsoever.
Michael's idea though of like flour, no nuts with flour. I like that that's where you found the line. I keep
Dude,
nuts
what
out
the
of my
hell was
ice cream
that?
too, but that's a
You just
strange
eat the
line.
frosting plain?
Yeah, dude, I will. It comes from a time when I had a lot less money
If I had more
and
frosting, I'd be fatter. I don't want that.
you can go into like a grocery store and there's the entire aisle full of like little Debbie's and like honey buns and stuff and they'll have them at like $1 for a box of like 12. So I used to like subsist on like sugar. And so
Okay, but
sometimes
like
I just get
cake
this
mix is
like
like $1 too, by that
what?
logic.
What's $1?
Cake mix.
Yeah, but like why bake a cake when you just eat the frosting that you really want?
For me, if I'm like actually eating something, if I'm drinking something, I can drink like I have a high tolerance for drinking sugar. I still have a limit compared to most people, but I have much more tolerance for that. When I'm
Hmm,
eating something, I have a much lower tolerance for the sugar.
Agreed.
interesting.
Yeah.
I like chocolate flavor. I like things that are sugary, but I don't like things that are too sugary. Like most
Eh,
pre-manufactured cakes and stuff like that are just too heavy on the sugar.
oh yeah.
Hmm.
And 60 days in a row, I agree with you. But then, like some kind of sugar vampire, I just get these cravings that are like, you're gonna down an entire thing of sugar right now. And like,
I've
sometimes I
never
can
had
stave
that.
it off with some peanut butter, do a little peanut butter honey on like a Ritz cracker, and it's like enough to like keep the monster at bay. But there's two wolves inside of me, and sometimes one of them wins that I hate.
And you said you weren't a furry.
Hmm. This is where the world finds out.
But it has two wolves inside of him.
I got two wolves in me, and one says eat the sugar, and it usually loses. Honey buns are your weakness. Oh, Alex Moore, I know. They're so good. And I was so poor.
I do love donuts, but usually I don't consider them as sweet because I like the doughy. I like sweet dough. That's fine. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
frosting is very different.
My dad gets plain old fashioned. No frosting, no glaze, no
I can see
powdered
that.
sugar, no
Just
nothing.
like
Just
the
a
texture, honestly.
plain old fashioned. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's really the texture. I don't like old-fashioned donut texture. I like the fluffy ones, like the good
The
ones.
like the fried donut,
Just a
not the
normal fried
cake.
donut. Yeah, I like those quite a bit. Oh, what was the thing? Yeah, I got a Mexican like. Of course I did. I got like a Mexican cookie, the shell
You just
cookie.
call it a cookie. We don't.
Yeah.
Does it just
I
have
was gonna say
cinnamon
this
on
is
it? Is that the
yeah.
difference?
Or no, it's got sugar on it, but the thing is the sugar is more like brown sugar flavor. It's not it's
Mm,
very light sugar relatively.
it's
And the
like that
dough
raw sugar, real sugar stuff.
yeah. It's not very strong sugar and the dough is usually like the place I get it from at least. Their dough is not that sweet. It's much more towards the middle. So I would like that a lot.
Veritax cake donuts are not superior to yeast ones because maple bars exist.
I like
Okay.
maple bars okay. I'm not like a huge maple fan. I just like plain chocolate and glazed. I'm really not complicated when it comes to that kind of stuff. Just
What
simple
is the
stuff.
you do the chocolate bar, the chocolate
Yeah.
maple drizzle.
Just chocolate drizzle.
Maybe
You go to that
I'll eat a
weird
maple bar
hipster
too, but I
place that's
just do the
like, oh, you want
voodoo
candied bacon
donuts.
on that? I'm like, no, I don't want candied bacon on my maple bar.
Oh,
Yeah,
Get out of here.
you're talking about voodoo donuts, something
Yeah,
like
I'm
Okay.
talking
that.
about voodoo.
Because they were the ones that made it like big, a
Yeah,
big
and then
thing.
everyone else is like, oh, I'll make a specialty
I mean, I grew
donut.
up
I'm
around
like,
it. I
fuck
don't eat
off.
those. Like those things just aren't. They're not the same at all. Their donuts aren't as good as the other guys I go to.
No.
Because I mean, yeah, the
The
thing is
best
they
donuts are
try to
made by the
produce.
Vietnamese.
I mean, the people I have that I go to, they're Hispanic. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. I think the
I wonder if they
Vietnamese
run
have the
both
market cornered
sides.
though,
I
because
wonder if they
they.
run both sides. They do like the Mexican bakery, then they do the donut bakery.
Oh, your
Uh,
dearly departed wife had a recipe for peanut butter pie. You think, oh, gross, but it's so creamy, like whipped cream, so sensuous. You feel like you're in a dreadful sin to eat it. Do you cover it with chocolate? Is it like a giant, like a Reese's? Because that sounds amazing.
I don't like fruit in my pastries, so I'm not sure exactly what kind of empanada you'd be looking at.
Mmm.
But is he
All
just
I know is
talking
my
about like a
grandpa really
savory one
liked
or a
cherry,
dessert
like
one?
those little
That's
cherry
more what I'm
pies.
thinking is like, yeah, like a little cherry pie, or is he talking like a savory one? I'd eat a savory one just fine. It's just, yeah. I don't like pie crust though. I don't like the taste of pie crust. It's always like a weird flavor.
Just pie crust in general.
Yeah.
It's butter.
And usually it just tastes kind of sour to me.
It's flour, water, sugar, and butter.
I think it's too salty. It's
Oh
probably,
yeah, and some
yeah.
salt. Yeah.
I think it's probably just the salt is a little bit too much. I just never really liked pie crust taste on most things. It depends on how you make it.
Then you had cream cheeses, whipped cream, bit of sour cream, all mixed together. You never got the recipes. This was a family secret. Sounds like a cheesecake. I'd probably start with peanut butter cheesecakes and then see how you can
I say it's been a
modify
long time
those.
since I had one of those. I forgot. I probably have to try one again.
Do you like ensaimada?
Yeah. It's been a long time.
The heck is this? Ensaimada. Pastry product from Mallorca, Balearic
Yeah.
Islands.
It has cheese on it.
Spain. It's from Spain, not Mexico. You
That's the same thing.
racist.
Yeah. I have had it before. I don't know. I just don't have that
Soft
much.
and
I
easy.
don't think of it. Yeah, they have
let's
cheese on them, which
see.
is kind of different. You wouldn't think about it, but it doesn't taste that out of place.
Oh, I hate scrolling to the recipe. I should hit the button. Butter, water, yeast, sugar, flour, sugar. Wait, why do we have two? Oh, probably a topping sugar.
Yeah, these are just like you separate them
Shortening
out.
egg yolks. Powdered sugar and cheddar cheese.
Yeah, you have more
That
sugar
would
for the
be
topping.
interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely
Hmm.
worth trying out. Not what you'd think.
I'm always willing to try something. Ensaimada, yeah. My wife and I get baked goods at the Asian store, and they're very light on the sugar. It's quite nice, a change to North American baking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really love dough, but usually it's just people go so high on the sugar.
Japanese people don't really know much about sugar until they know all sugar. It's really funny. You're
It's
like, this is a dessert, and it's like kind of bitter. You're like, that's really strange. Why would you do that? And they're like, how about this one? And it's just a pure sugar rush. You're like, oh,
And
damn it.
their most popular dish is red bean paste.
Mm-hmm.
Their most popular dessert. I
In
should
in
say.
a pounded rice ball.
Yeah, it's like what? It
Both
doesn't make
Spanish and
sense.
Filipinos have it. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it as
not
a Filipino, though. I prefer
not really
Spanish
Mexican
pastries a
thing.
bit more. Hard to say. Is that like an old world trade thing that occurred that made
Yeah,
like
the Spanish are in the Philippines.
the Philippines?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
and that's why the Philippines are also majority Catholic.
Not the Jesuits.
Nope, Spaniards.
The Spaniardos.
Yeah, because of colonization. Now, like English did not transfer their religion over to India basically whatsoever because the East India Company was completely different setup to most colonial efforts. They're very different.
Yeah, the English
Especially the
were
fact
all
that they already
trade-based.
had a well-entrenched religion. Philippines did not have that nearly the same degree.
Yeah, could you imagine talking to what would that have been, a 16th century,
Yeah,
18th
they were
century,
Hindus.
like
Yeah.
Indian, and been like, hey, how about you not be Hindu?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Hinduism is a very ingrained in the culture.
you need to get some
Whereas,
rice
yeah, the
balls with bean
Filipinos did
paste.
not have the
Yummy.
same kind of thing. And it was, yeah, Islam was also quite big in Indonesia. That's why it is still today as well. Because they held on to their tradition of Islam while other places that didn't have such a strong hold just did other things and just never became a core facet of their identity.
Hmm. I think all
Yeah,
this is
it's actually
fascinating.
yeah, well, it's really interesting because the spread of Islam, from Arabia back in what the 600s, 400s ish,
Yeah.
Muhammad first started his reign of terror. I mean, he was basically any other medieval conqueror, raping and
Right.
pillaging everybody. It's not, yeah, pretty much the same as Genghis Khan. Although their exact methods vary. War was just far more brutal back then than it is now. Like, as
I
much
do
people
find
wanted
it.
to cry stuff like happening in Ukraine or whatever, it's like you don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, Imagine if we had social media back then. People are like taking videos of the literal like
All these execution
Nanjing
methods,
like
just like in Hell's
executions, and
Paradise.
yeah, it's just like, oh, look at this corpse I burned. Like,
Or yeah, just
I'm
like Mexican. Hey, look at this Bendel get ripped in half by a bull.
right.
Uh,
That wasn't too long ago. Like, uh,
oh, I'm pretty sure. I
whole
would
of
assume.
humanity speaking. Like,
Yeah. Those torture methods, stuff like that, they're pretty spicy. Really, Geneva Convention is the only thing that kind of toned it down, as the whole Western world decided, hey, let's not do this anymore.
well, wasn't it like the latest guillotining was like, I don't know, 40 years ago?
Oh, a guillotine is not even remotely brutal compared to most execution methods, honestly. Guillotine is like one of the most, as long as you do it correctly, still is one of the most humane.
Yeah, September 1977.
Yeah, that
But
makes
people
sense.
think of it like
Yeah, it's not
1800s
like
kind
they're
of a thing
chopping the person apart bit by bit like some execution methods.
from the ground
You know what
up.
I mean? It's talking about, yeah. Yeah, it gets a lot worse than a simple beheading.
Look at this guy just flayed. Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like getting molten like iron or bronze poured over your head, like in Game of Thrones, how they represent it. That seems like a lot worse.
Oof. Or like you put a human inside the big brass cow and then put a fire under the cow and you just cook the person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
The most brutal execution was the Iron Bowl. Is that what I just described?
It might be that,
I
yeah.
thought it was brass, but um
Yeah, it comes up as brazen bull, so that's what it was,
brazen
yeah.
bull. Yeah, this thing. That's just crazy.
Yeah. Horrifying.
Ugh. Let's not do that.
It's not very visually interesting, so that's why they didn't bother using something like that. It's also hard to get that much metal, so that's why they wouldn't do that in Hell's Paradise. The oil one is very viable because it's not that hard to get oil.
Yeah. It's pretty readily available when you're already lighting your whole house with oil.
Yeah, still very grandiose and extremely horrific, but very possible, very achievable.
Because isn't like part of the way that the bowl is like crafted is so that like as the person screams, it sounds like a bull is like
Oh, there's like a
yelling.
little hole so they could not suffocate.
Ugh. Ugh.
Imagine,
Water torture.
yeah,
I'd take
imagine
water
inventing.
torture over that any day.
Yeah, like imagine just having it designed specifically so you won't die until you're burned alive.
35 minutes for first Hell's Paradise mission.
Hey, I wasn't trashing it though.
It's true. Weren't technically trashing it. All right. I
That
was
was a
gonna
fun
read
tangent.
this
Yeah.
about how Oshinoko is inspired by this wrestler's suicide, apparently,
Okay.
because our escapism is crossing paths with reality. And I was like,
I'm
oh,
gonna
that
go
might be
play Tears
interesting.
of the Kingdom.
Do it.
Yeah.
Go build a
I,
giant penis that
I'm not
spits
building
fire.
anything. I'm just walking around. I'm just gonna walk around the
You're
entire
just gonna
time.
walk around the expanses and enjoy it.
Yep.
Have fun. Someday they'll make you a VR version.
Yeah, could you also remove me? I want to watch from the back room, but yeah, just remove me from stream.
Oh, sure thing. Snooky, you want smush smush? Oh, the snoo snoo torture. Nice, more suicide stuff. Yeah. Yeah, great. Wonderful. Um Obviously this one caught my eye because Oshinoko is pretty damn good. Pretty dang great. But is it inspired by this, or does it just so happen that this new phenomena actually occurs so often that now people are like, "Oh, that's just like so and so," or "That's just like so and so." So I wasn't sure how directly this the story from episode 6, 7, no, episode 7, whatever, which one was ego surfing, from the ego surfing episode. I'm curious how closely it ties. So if discussion of suicide and suicide related things is not your thing, I understand if you want to bounce. Otherwise, you can feel free to hang out and join us. Suicide's never the answer. If you need help finding the suicide hotline, it's like 811. What is it? Hold on. 988. Okay. So if you're dealing with something and you don't want to talk to somebody in your life, call this number, get some help. There's people out there who want to help. And I'm just gonna stick this in the corner. Oh, why is it so tiny? Oh, I can't zoom in on it. That's not big enough. Let's try this. There we go. Why is my front door shouting at us? There we go. Boom. Now I'm responsible. Because anyone doing anything might have someone decide to try to commit suicide must reference this particular person's family member. It couldn't have been someone else's family member. Bingo. But here's the thing, the anime doing this is a commentary on just how evil people are to each other on social media, how toxic it can be, and how it can have the compounding effect on a person's psyche to lead to hurting oneself. It's like way back in the day when ER would cover a topic, it was shocking and made people reconsider how they reacted. You'll stick around, you're gonna look in chocolate aisle for maybe a cake idea. It's like taking the coward's route when your life situation improves, the depression or whatever ailment you have lessens to something more bearable and manageable. If it's event based, then yeah. Then yeah. There are some people that do have like straight up chemical depression where you can't just change the events, even the positive events that occur. Like I knew someone that they were having a tough time and I said, "Hey, look, we can fill this thing out and your tough time goes away." And they were like, rather than say, "Oh, really? Cool, we can do that." They were like, "Well, that's not going to work." Well, it won't work. And they were just so stuck in that it led them down the ultimate path. So, while yes, the true answer should be find a way out or look for the people who are trying to pull you out to help you out. Some people just won't be able to do that. All right. The mother of Hana Kimura has criticized Oshi no Ko for its recent episode as it allegedly draws inspiration from her daughter's death. I don't know if that's the daughter or the mother, but we might find out here soon. Spoiler alert! I'm not putting out the spoiler because it'll block the help is available number. Oshinoko's recent episode has caused mixed reactions among viewers in Japan for the same reason it has received positive reception. Since the airing of episode 6, Ego Surfing, many viewers have drawn parallels between what happened to Akane Kurokawa in Oshinoko to the real-life tragedy and death of pro wrestler Hina Kimura. This is Hina Kimura right here, pro wrestler. As both have been victims of cyberbullying after participating in a reality show. Ooh, so it's actually more specific than just cyberbullying or anything like that. Cover my weak goatee with a tequila Gundam. Actually, I can probably do this. If I put it down here, I think this Gundam might be... He's mostly out of the way. There you go. Now you have some tequila in your life. As reported by Yahoo Japan article, Kimura's mother, Kyoko Kimura, was upset not at the story itself and how it had a similar aspects to what happened to Hana, but at how the slanderous comments used in the episode seemed to take from the tweets directed at her daughter before she died. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if this is like a translation. We'll get deeper into this, but I wonder if this... Like, she's not upset with them. She's upset at seeing this again. Because, like, if you were like, oh, these are the words that led to your daughter killing herself, and then you see them again in a show that you're enjoying in a similar context, that can be upsetting. So I'm wondering if she's just, like, distressed and then just, like, shouting so that, you know, if anybody needs to hear this message, she's like... this really happens, or if it's actually like she's mad at them about it happening. You're doing carrot cake, you think Thursday? Carrot cake is one of those things that is so weird to me. It's like zucchini bread. Carrot cake and zucchini bread. How can you make delicious cake out of vegetables? It's crazy. High school employees at work go through this social media stuff that makes them super depressed. I see it at work all the time. Oh, like high school aged employees, yeah. They put a lot of weight on it. And there's an interesting thing that when we first started out on the internet, nobody was real. Like, and I don't mean that they weren't real. Like, they were real people that really existed. But, like, they were a username. They were some dude in a forum. They were some specialist club that you were a part of, or this pseudonym that was writing a blog. They were something that wasn't like a real person. Whereas, like, modern social media and the fact that you can like go out there and talk to the internet and create a following and create buzz and sort of grow from that has caused all of the people online to be much more real as far as another human goes. Rather than seeing a username, you're seeing another person. Whereas I think back in the day, we used to just see a username and assume that they were just some other nerd who was like spouting off. And so you would just sort of wipe it away. But like, modern kids who have grown up with like internet as like a thing and the way you communicate and the fact that social medias are tied to who you actually are, I feel like they put a lot more weight into what it is. And you really shouldn't put that much weight into what other people say, whether or not they're actually in front of you or if they're just a person on the internet. Unless they're like a person whose opinion you respect and whose opinion should be respected. Like, obviously, if you're being a dumbass and someone calls you out on being a dumbass and you take a second and you're like, yeah, you know what? I should sort of rethink this part of my life. You should maybe take some of that advice. But every random thing that happens on the internet or that someone tells you or someone makes fun of you or whatever it may be, every downvote you get in the world is not a thing that needs to like impact you on a personal level. Yahoo Japan's really backwards people. They probably still use AOL. They might. Japanese websites are the worst things on the planet. They if I remember when they first started coding in Japan, they couldn't figure out which of their alphabets to use. And so now that we're what 20 years from like most people having access to like internet websites and being able to make stuff, they still have shit that's running on like friggin' band-aids and gum. Like it just does not work together. We were dogs when we were first on the internet. Sometimes penguins. You mean I wasted my time being myself back then? Not a waste of time. You were just ahead of the curve, that's all. C tier is still good. You just dropped it for not liking. Bum. The only thing I like with pineapple is on pizza, sadly. Not even pineapple upside down cake? Not surprised they want you to apologize. Every anime show characters are groveling to the simplest shit. Validation is a weird thing. It is very strange. And the lack of validation, meaning that you suck, is another weird thing. Because it's like being validated, like, hey, this works out, that can feel really good. But then not getting that should be a neutral or how can I get my action product, whatever it is, in front of an audience that can either validate or invalidate it. But our brains take a lack of validation as invalidation. F your apologies. Only apologize if you have actually materially harmed somebody. The constant apologies seem like, oh, I'm just being nice and apologizing because I did this, this, and this. And it's like, no. A, apologizing assumes you did something wrong. And B, constantly apologizing removes the like power of the apology. Like, if I apologize to somebody, you know I fucked up. And you know that I did something wrong, that I know there's a problem, because I don't apologize unless there's like actually an issue. So yeah, apology culture is too strong. All right. Kimura's mother said she despised how her daughter's death was treated as source material to sell the anime. Oh, interesting. Was it, or were people just connecting the dots? She also noted the timing of the episode when it aired on May 17th coincides closely with Kimura's death on May 23rd, exacerbating the pain for those close to her daughter. Advertisement. Get out of here. Episode 6 is causing mixed reactions from Japanese fans because Hana Kimura's mother got mad at it for allegedly being based on Hana's experience. Some are defending ONK, while others are saying it's horrible. Breaking news tweet. Some fans have defended the episode, saying the mangaka drafted up the chapters months before Kimura's death, and the topic of cyberbullying is an industry-wide issue. This is where I would go. The cyberbullying is a thing ubiquitous of one person who took their life. It's I don't want to know what the stats are on that, honestly. If it's 10 people who take their life because of cyberbullying, that's too many. What's better, I apologize or I'm sorry? What's better is to say thank you. One thank you is worth 1,000 sorries. I don't remember what that's from, but that's one of like those little wisdom tidbits that I think is really, really useful. Kimura died a month after the series started. I don't think it was really based on it. The best apology is thanking Jonah Hill. Yeah. You still love the show, just hated the episode. Apologize to my Gundam or else. Never. They're just speculating or connecting the dots where there may or less not be any. Twitter can have a double down. You just got an Amber Alert. Oh no. Boop, boop. Amber Alert. Does your Amber Alert actually describe the child this time so that people can know to look for them outside of a vehicle just in case? The manga has never stated he drew inspiration from Kimura's death. However, others have taken issue with Kimura's mother's concerns and have done the very thing that led to Kimura taking her life. Fans have slandered Kimura's mother, saying, "What if the author gets depressed and commits suicide? And what if the anime gets canceled because of you?" You can't win with people. You assume the whole first arc was written by the time it started, and that part of the story might have been written after, but it also could have been written before it happened. And it could have been written, and then these public like tweets such as this led to so and so's or Hana's death. And he's like, "Oh, convenient." And you can just take the tweets. The actual event doesn't have like using a modern thing that occurs in the culture does not require that your event in the story uh came from the event. You haven't got an Amber Alert in a week and a half. Dragon Roo is over here really helping the stereotypes. I see like one Amber Alert every 4 months. And you're over here counting weeks and you're like, "Man, I haven't gotten one in a while." Oh man. Kimura's mother has made it clear she does not blame the mangaka and is not calling for the anime or manga to stop airing and serializing. She has stated her desire to support works that shine a light into the dark side of the industry, but not if it's done in a way that only adds to the pain and suffer of those who have suffered from cyberbullying. I'd be curious to see this. In a rough translation, Kimura's mother said she'll reach out to the production to talk with them, although she is unsure whether they will listen. My episode ended with a suicide hotline, like reach out. Did Ezra Miller kidnap one of your people again, Dragon Ruse? Oh man. Hana Kimura, a professional wrestler, became a cast member of a reality TV series, Terrace House, Tokyo. Waifu watched that. In one episode aired in January 2020, Kimura had an argument with another housemate for shrinking her wrestling costume in the washing machine and grabbed his hat. Viewers flooded Kimura's social media platforms with malicious hate comments, eventually leading to her committing suicide on May 23rd, 2020, at the age of 22. God. You're like, "Yeah, this will be fun. I'll just go on TV and have some fun." And then everyone's like, "I hate you." And it's like, God, that you can't let other people hating you affect you like that. But I know some people are. And it's hard to like say like what to do other than like they're not real. They're not as cool as you. They don't matter at the end of the day. It like there's not like a magic phrase that just makes someone suddenly be like, "You know what? I am okay now," if they're already like on their way to that. No, just a lot of father and mother took my kid from me and get an alert breakups, or seems like. Sounds like she wants royalties for being her daughter's story. I am curious about how you would want the works to shine a light onto the dark side of the industry, but like I don't think you can do that without bringing up pain from people who have suffered from the dark side of an industry. So like if long hours of grueling work and like again until your toes are bleeding is part of like the um is part of the idol culture, that if you've been a part of that awful section of the idol culture, that if you see that in anime, doesn't matter how they show the feet getting bloodied or, you know, the berating of like the dance master or whatever it is, that's gonna that's gonna be painful for some people. If it's done well, it's gonna be painful. So I don't think there's a way for it to not be painful. Um, this is either just an aspirational, I wish they could do it without uh making it painful, or it's a bad translation, but we'll see. Internet was not made for the weak, but the weak made the internet, so there's always that. Reference to those early 4chan posts of your streams. Yeah, exactly. Some people just exude confidence or just can't get past being hurt by anonymous people. I mean, the fact that it's 2023 and so and so got death threats is still a thing that affects people is just kind of mind-boggling to me, because I feel like some random on the internet saying that you should die should be, like, in my brain, that should be way less difficult to deal with than some random on the internet identifying the thing that you're self-conscious about and like attacking you there. Like that would be way more impactful, I think, than like death threats. But people still always just go to, I got death threats, and it's like, so everybody threatens death on the internet. Does anybody actually mean it? Does anybody actually in a position to make it happen? I don't think that's true most of the time. But yet still people, that's where they go whenever they're complaining about online things. Meanwhile, no one does anything when the state does it. Wait, when the state does the what? You're telling me I can't talk no jutsu all those who hate me into loving me? Has Naruto lied to generations of anime fans? Yes, that is true. Truth is painful no matter what. The state probably wants the parents of those kids it kidnapped to pay for. Oh, the Amber Alert, got it. And that's why they won't give them back. They came from a different state and ate being held hostage. As long as they cross into the U.S. border when they go onto Dragon Ruse's land, they'll be okay. Woman takes death threats seriously because they have no concept distance. Well, it's a good thing we have scoped rifles now so that the distance isn't a problem. But you see guys say, I got death threats. Like, you see that too. Like, it's not I don't think it's a gendered thing. I just think it's a person who takes the, like I was saying earlier, they see the username and they picture a person rather than just picturing rando internet username. People threading Oda over their head cannons. Oh no. Glad your grandma told me. Why do you care about what people think about you? Did they run your life, pay for your stuff, or anything for you at all? So stop caring, you idiot. I love her. Grandma's got a good word, you know? It's like, unless that person is of a level that their opinion should be respected. They're like, oh, you should, do this or do that, or I think this would be a better way to go about things. Ignore them. Ignore them. But there's a lot of people that just they can't ignore it. While episode 6 of Oshi no Ko made it clear that the program was a work of fiction and therefore had no ties to any real life incidents, this message came at the end of the episode after the ending credits have rolled. The only other time Oshi no Ko made this announcement was at the beginning of episode 1. The production team from Oshi no Ko nor the mangaka have made a statement. 988. Yep. Because you always got to put that in. Anytime you talk about this upsettingly heavy topic. Because it sucks, but it is a thing that exists in the world we live in. Base grandma. So much common sense. Base grandma's right. Cheers to base grandmas. And now I have to ask myself. Sounds like it was already written out before. Yeah, the event occurred just a month after the manga started, it seems. So it would have at least the concept of the event already existed. So even if some of the specifics may be borrowed from a real life event, I don't think it's like based on that event specifically. The Carmen parody of Logic's Suicide Song. What? So now I have to ask myself a question. Am I gonna play some Moemon, in which I'm just kind of running around grinding, or am I gonna go downstairs and continue to help get the house ready for the weekend guests and make waifu happy? Chat, I always enjoy hanging out with you, having fun. But I'm going to go make sure this house is ready for guests that are coming. So, everybody, you're getting a back-to-back short ones this week. So we got a short one tonight. We got a short one tomorrow, as usual. I will catch you all tomorrow for our Waifu Wednesday, where we look at all of our top 10 lists. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Enjoy your audiobooks, your other videos, your VODs, some anime, some Tears of the Kingdom. Go do whatever else it is that you have to do. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Kampai, everybody.